On behalf of the Enrollment Management and Student Affairs Division, welcome to the 2020-2021 academic year. I am Dr. Warren Hilton, Vice President. In just a few minutes, Ms. Krista Evans will give you an update on new undergraduate student enrollment and the efforts her department has made working collaboratively with many at KU. But first, I want to take a moment to share updates related to our strategic enrollment management efforts and discuss accomplishments and preparations in our student affairs area. As discussed at the Fall 2019 opening celebration, we embarked on a year-long strategic enrollment management planning process in an effort to determine the goals and actions to lead KU to sustainable enrollment over the next few years. The planning process involved faculty, staff, and students. We were interrupted by COVID-19, but arrived at 6 goals that were approved by the Strategic Planning and Resources Committee in late May. The 6 goals created by the Student Success Team and the Senate Enrollment Management Committee include goals for freshman retention, overall persistence, and transfer completion, as well as new undergraduate student recruitment goals and an overall graduate student enrollment goal. Due to the uncertainty of how COVID-19 will affect enrollment, the Strategic Planning and Resources Committee recommended that the goals be reviewed after the fall freeze date, and if needed, a revision be made. Our plan is to have sub-teams, again involving faculty, staff, and students, to create the action plans, strategies, and timelines to achieve the goals. These strategies, action plans, and timelines will be reviewed by the Strategic Planning and Resources Committee prior to spring break and finalized before the end of the spring semester. We will keep the campus informed via the Strategic Enrollment Management Planning webpage. In addition to the strategic enrollment planning process, I discussed at last year's opening celebration that the university would embark on a request for quote process to select a partner to update our scholarship model. Ruffalo Noel Levitz, or RNL, was selected and conducted econometric modeling, which predicts the effect of changes in net price on student yield, allowing KU to simulate changes before developing aid awards. This modeling produced a new set of merit and need-based scholarship awards. Krista will talk about some of the new student enrollment outcomes in just a second, but the early signs indicate that the model helped us secure more freshmen without sacrificing academic quality. Further analysis will be done by RNL to recommend updates, if needed, to our scholarship model. Over the past 5 months, our enrollment management and student affairs staff have worked diligently to carry out our work during the pandemic. Activities and events that were normally held in person were converted to virtual formats. Admissions events, new student orientation, and various other student activities moved online swiftly and successfully. One example of the success of our efforts was our recent virtual game night, in which staff and faculty joined the incoming class in a fun and engaging activity. In addition, while most students returned to their homes in March, we did house a small group of students, including international students, on campus. Enrollment management and student affairs staff worked with many across the campus to distribute over $2 million in emergency funds from the CARES Act and the KU Foundation. Our staff have updated our protocols and procedures to plan for the fall semester. We have engaged students in conversations related to the racial injustice and that we are seeing in the community, and working with faculty, staff, and students to prepare for additional conversations in the fall semester. We continue to work with the Vice President for Social Equity and Compliance on implementing the new Title IX rules. We in the Division of Enrollment Management and Student Affairs look forward to working with all of you at the university to continue to recruit, retain, and graduate KU students. I look forward to the fall semester and want to thank all of the staff and faculty in the Enrollment Management and Student Affairs Division. Now I will turn it over to Krista Evans, Director of Undergraduate Admissions, to provide you with an undergraduate new student enrollment update.
Hello, everyone. I hope you are all well and that you are safe. I'm excited to provide you an overview of the 2019-2020 admissions cycle and happy to highlight some of our successes and challenges in light of COVID-19. This proved to be a very challenging year, but I'm proud of my team and the entire Kutztown community for assisting students and their families through this difficult time. I'd like to first review our freshman cohort numbers in comparison to fall 2019. This data is as of August 4th, 2020, and obviously things are still in flux. While we saw a decrease in applications of 4.8%, we saw an increase in the number of students we admitted and saw a 10% increase in net deposits over last year. In the midst of a pandemic, I'm ecstatic with our results. I want to thank Dr. Hilton and the entire EMSA leadership team for their support over this past year, and thank my entire admissions team for their hard work, flexibility, and steadfast commitment to our students. I also want to thank everyone at the university who assisted with our recruitment efforts. Next, I'd like to highlight the numbers for our full-time transfer population. Each year, our transfer students operate on a much different timeline than our incoming freshmen. Many of them wait until the summer before their arrival to apply and announce their plans for enrollment. This year, in light of the pandemic, I think we're seeing even more students staying with their current institution, and you can see the dip in applications. I am, however, pleased to see that our deposit numbers are still experiencing movement, and we'll continue to work with this population right up to the start of classes. Many of our community college partners have decided to provide online-only instruction, which has prompted some students to enroll here at KU for the in-person experience. Next, I'd like to talk about the academic profile of the incoming class. Our average GPA was a 3.23, which aligns with last year's data, and the average SAT was 1041. Our overall yield, which is the number of accepted students who deposit, sits at 25%, which is up from 24% last year. Increases in yield in the midst of a pandemic are uncommon. Our net deposits, as I mentioned, are up over 10% in comparison to last year. And while we continue to see changes daily to our class, our MELT closely aligns with last year. March 11th was my 43rd birthday. Little did I know that on Friday, March 14th, coronavirus would force us to leave the office and transition all of our work to virtual platforms. I'll be honest in saying the task at first seemed Herculean. Admissions work is done face-to-face. It's based in counseling, in helping, and in advising students and their families on this sometimes crazy process. We needed to pivot, just like the rest of our Kutztown community, and I'm so pleased with the result. We first made immediate changes to our admitted student reception. In the past, this event has welcomed nearly 2,000 students and their family members to our campus. We moved everything to an online format, and our campus partners didn't disappoint. The deans and our faculty were instrumental in providing admitted students details on their respective departments. Throughout much of the month of April, and especially on Saturday, April 18th, we hosted Zoom sessions galore. We transitioned all of our tours to Instagram and offered multiple mediums in which students and their parents could engage. My personal favorite was our Dine with the Director session for admitted students and their parents, where we hosted over 300 parents to learn more about the Golden Bear family. We invited 2 current KU students along with their parents and our EMSA leadership to lead a Q&A about life at Kutztown. It was incredibly well received. I also worked with Dr. Hilton and Dr. Hawkinson to present a proposal to Cabinet to waive the SAT and ACT requirement for incoming students, as all testing was shut down beginning with the March 14th testing administration. Finally, we altered our enrollment deposit amount to be sensitive to the needs of families that were losing employment due to COVID-19. Next, I'd like to provide some updates on the initiatives for the 1920 cycle. Last fall, I announced a number of initiatives, including membership of the Common Application. I'm happy that we received over 2,600 applications through this channel, and I look forward in the coming year to broadening our scope with more international students who are already applying to other colleges nationwide with this application. We also created a counselor relations strategy, and we welcomed over 200 school counselors to our campus through the PASHE Counselor Information Day. We offered brand new admitted student events in February to actually anticipate the needs of admitted students and allow them the opportunity to sit in on classes. And finally, we changed our recruitment to follow a territory management structure. This allowed us to provide more personalized attention to our students in our respective territories. Lastly, our staff is already looking ahead to the 2020-2021 admission cycle with a number of new initiatives. We're enhancing our counselor relations strategy even more by sending flash drives to approximately 75 schools that we're targeting to increase enrollment. We've refined our communications to these counselors and hope to send multiple newsletters throughout the year. In light of COVID-19, we also have a plan in place to increase our print publications and have developed a postcard series to stay in touch with our students and their families. We've increased virtual events, including high school visits, college fairs, panel presentations, classroom visits, and we polled our counseling community to meet their needs in this new virtual environment. And finally, we're announcing that we've extended our SAT-ACT waiver policy from this spring, given the continued struggles and limited testing sites that students are still experiencing. I'm a mom of a rising senior this year, and I'm not sure that I've ever been able to show as much empathy as I am now. As a director of admissions, I can tell you that my son's college search is much different than we ever expected it to be. In closing, I want to thank everyone in the Kutztown community for their support of the admissions office. We do not operate in a silo, and we've done our best to connect the dots across offices and to matriculate the best class possible given these very uncertain times. Thank you.